Working after hours, never sleep when it gets dark. Gotta tap into my heart when them sharks come out. I'm playing with.
What's up, world? It's your boy Jaicko. Right now we live in New York City, chasing dreams, man.
When you see me, I'ma always be clean. I can switch it in a hurry, but you don't wanna see me turn green. No, this is the part where I take off the suit and tie. Pick up the pesos.
I actually started doing music as a rapper. I remember when I was about 9 years old, I was a huge fan of Lil Bow Wow at the time. Now Bow Wow.
All young girls beware, this pups off the chains. A pretty little something out here putting down.
He was just like my idol. I wanted to be like him. I wanted to dress like him. I wanted cornrows, you know, because he was like the youngest kid that was really doing it at the time. I was just really inspired by that. And, you know, being that I already had a passion for music, I really started to follow that direction. And, you know, at that point is when I really started to think about, you know, actually being an artist rather than just having the love for music itself in all aspects. I have to say that, like, Lil Bow Wow was a huge part of the reason why I started on this journey in the first place, you know? One day, I was riding in the car with my dad, and my dad picked me up from school, and I was playing Lil Bow Wow's album the whole weekend, you know? I was like, bumping it, you know, learning the new songs, and I was like, yo, Dad, I want to rap. I can rap. At first, obviously, he didn't take me on. He was like, oh, whatever. But then I busted out rapping Lil Bow Wow's first single, What's My Name? Wow, 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 yippee-yo, yippee-yay.
Wow, 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 yippee-yo, yippee-yay. Where my dogs at?
I recited the whole verse, and he was so impressed with it that he called my mom like, yo, your son's a rapper. And then, you know, he took me to the studio, and then we cut a little demo, and then we put it out on the radio in Barbados. And, you know, that really got things started.
Let me take you away. Come on, to paradise.
At 10 years old, he had an incredible understanding of music, of sounds and songs. I mean, there wasn't any song that Jaicko knew, and he was always like mimicking playing instruments. One time, bought a gift for Christmas, this guitar with a built-in thing, and Jaicko fooled me because I thought he was actually playing the guitar. He was just like mimicking. His sense of timing and rhythm was quite extraordinary. So basically, I knew that he was destined to be an artist, musician.
As far as I can remember, Jaicko always used to sing, and actually he always used to walk around with drumsticks in his hand, and before the drumsticks it was a hairbrush, and he was always beating on something. You had to actually beg him to stop because he would always beat to some tune. This was like from even before 5 years old. He used to do this, and it was always, you know, rapping, and he was always musically inclined.
I always knew that Jaicko would be something into music because he always singing, and don't talk about drums and things like that. He forever beating the table in a real melodious way, not just beating it like that. He would beat it to a nice song or rhythm or something like that. Singing was, I would think, in his bloodstream from the day he was born.
Jaicko actually was a very pleasant child, never gave me any trouble, not like, you know, teenagers or like the terrible twos and that kind of thing. He was always a very, very pleasant child, very obedient. Didn't too much like doing schoolwork. That was an issue, but other than that, I really can't complain. I'm a proud mother.
Always loved music, always singing, always singing from, I believe, from the time he opened his eyes in the birthday room, he was singing. I have no doubt that he's going to make it really, really big in the music industry.
A couple weeks later, after my dad discovered my talent of being a rapper and, you know, my passion for wanting to be an artist, he decided that he, you know, also started to believe in what I envisioned as a child. And he decided that it was time for us to go to New York, and he was like, yo, let's go to New York. And I was the most excited. You know, I've always New York was always like, at that time, always one of those places that I only dreamt about going. Like, he'd always go away to New York, but I'd never be able to go. So he was like, oh, let's go to New York and let's go meet some record labels. And I was elated. I forgot about everything else that was going on in my life, homework, everything. And when I got to New York, I remember like driving from the airport and like not seeing any of what I saw on TV. And at first it's like, wait a minute, this is not New York. And then we pulled up to my aunt's house in Queens, Jamaica, Queens, and we actually had to end up like sleeping on the floor. But it was cool though, it was still a good experience. And then after that we went to the city and I was like, oh, okay, this is New York. I was just excited to be in New York for the first time. That was a great feeling.